Hey, it's PMR. This is time to play Stump the Chump again, where I answer questions from my YouTube channel. Most of the questions that I'm going to answer are about the A1 Mark II, but there's some other ones scattered in there as well. So this first person writes, the A1 and the A7R5 are just terrific. Based on the photos I've seen taken with these cameras, I'm surprised that Sony isn't #1 yet. The NEX cameras, which I've used only a few years before moving on to Olympus, were great and produce excellent black and white JPEGs. I wonder if that is also true for the A1. There are a whole slew of ways to shoot actual black and white images in all the Sony cameras that very few people ever find because they're always shooting RAW. There's tons of options if you shoot JPEG instead. And there's a whole menu listing under Creative. And it's really cool. My favorite one is called Rich Tone Black and White. And that one takes 3 pictures really fast, and then it merges them all together, pulling highlight and shadow detail, and it makes this beautiful black and white image that you can then take into whatever editor you prefer and go for it. So yeah, there's some really neat things you can do, but most people are shooting RAW and you can't, these aren't available to you. So if you have any kind of Sony camera, any A7 series, or even the crop sensor cameras all have it too. The A9 does not have these features. Trying to think if the A1 II does. Somebody will answer in the comments below. Second question. I shoot 70% Australian Shepherds and fast dogs. These would be like Belgian Malinois. The other 30% is people, still life, and insects. I use all G-series glass, low aperture. I want to buy one of these. The question is which one? A9 III or A1 Mark II? It's a great question. Sports photographers are asking the same question of themselves all over the world right now, because now there are these 2 pretty amazing options, really 3. A9 III, the original A1, or the A1 Mark II. All 3 of these are great. All 3 of these will do a great job for you. The question is, I don't think pre-capture is going to help you with dogs too much, but going higher than 30 frames a second could very well be important. The other thing is in the extreme, and I'm talking the extreme for speedy sports, and dogs are much faster than humans. The A9 Mark III might be the way to go because you can go beyond 30 frames per second and the processing rate is better. So the camera has more time, even at a higher frame rate, to do the extreme calculations for autofocus. So the A9 III might be the best way to go for you, but man, if you do the original A1 or the A1 Mark II, you're not going to be disappointed. You'll be able to crop the bejesus out of everything. So you really can't miss with any of those 3 cameras, in my opinion. But I think A9 II would be too slow for dogs. So I think 30 frames a second is your base, and then going up from there, maybe. Okay, next question. As a current A1 owner, I will not be losing $3,000 to $4,000 to upgrade for such minimal additions. At the end of the day, you're going to come up with the same exact images and footage with this camera as the first generation. That might be true for many people, but if you shoot a lot of sports action at the highest level, you're going to miss pictures with an A1. You just are, because without the pre-capture, you're just going to miss stuff. It just happens. That's the reality. This ability to look into the past is phenomenal. And even though it costs us a lot of editing time to go through the bad ones that we don't want or need, it really is valuable, and you will make pictures that you wouldn't have gotten with the original A1. So I kind of beg to differ, but I also get it, like $3,000 or $4,000 to upgrade. It's a lot of money, and I appreciate that. A guy named Frederico says, this video is useful, but your approach is wrong because you talk about sports, as if all sports are the same, with helmets and scrums. Scrum is a rugby term, by the way, if you're an American football shooter like me. I would perhaps redo the video by indicating that this approach is to be kept in mind for sports in which there are athletes with helmets on at the same time and perhaps with audiences behind, because I doubt such a setting will have problems in swimming, athletics, tennis, and probably even skiing should not create problems. He is basically responding to my video where I tell people to turn off the auto subject detection AI in the A1 Mark II. You're probably right, Frederico. The fact is I only got to shoot one game with it, so I can't really give you any more information until I either get another loaner from Sony or I get my copy, which I really want. I want the latter more than the former, but I'll take the former. So if you're from Sony and you got a way to send me a camera, let me know. But the jury's still out on this. I've had some really good discussions online with Mark Gaylor, who I really, really trust, and he is such an amazing guy down down under. And he is saying that he is turning on and off that feature in the function menu, which means he can get to it quickly. So he has also found some of the same problems, and he doesn't shoot American football. So I think it just depends on the sport, and it depends on the backgrounds and things like that. We'll just have to see. You know, it's not like the AI is a fail. That's not what I'm trying to say in my video. I'm saying that if you're shooting American football, you better turn it off because it's going to mess you up. But in other sports, it could be great. I don't know. We'll have to just see with actual production cameras. So all the people that are on the internet talking about the A1 Mark II right now, none of us have shot with a production camera yet. So a simple firmware upgrade, sorry to bring that up, or basically getting the new camera with new firmware that we didn't have. I think most of us were at 0.7 firmware. That was what most of the cameras that the three people I've talked to that shot it other than myself, we were all at 0.7. Somebody might have been at 0.8 or 0.9. It just depends on where you got the camera and how long it took to get from Tokyo to you. So anyway, next question. Randomly, I went from the A7R III to the A1 and I can't really find any complaints other than the nefarious menu complexities. I love this comment because of the diction used. Man, that's awesome. And this guy's name is Randolph. So Randolph, thank you for putting some extra diction in the comment. That's hilarious. Nefarious menu complexities. That's sweet. So keep it up. Okay, charging blocks. I wanted to kind of address this. So the new A1 Mark II is going to be shipping with the battery charger ZD1, BC ZD1. This battery charger, I did a video on it. You can look at that video separately, but it will charge both batteries at the same time. However, this is the first battery charger that they have shipped that did not have an AC power supply. So there's no like brick or anything like that. You have to provide your own brick. And Sony is saying that it requires a 65 watt USB-C connection to AC power. I want to be careful. Like I recommended one recently, and on just in my Sony Alpha Sports group on Facebook, and a lot of people are commenting, oh, I got a 200 watt this or that. Just be careful. The stuff coming out of China could be pushing too much power into your new charger, and it could damage it. So be careful. Like I'm not saying that it will, but you're buying stuff. I'm only going to recommend something I'm actually using and have tried already. And that charger block worked great with that charger. So there you have it. That's it for questions for this episode. I just wanted to kind of reach back out and hit up some people about that. And I really appreciate you guys commenting and asking questions and making comments. It's really important to me to sort of be connected to the community of sports photographers and people using the high-end Sony gear. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.